But let me just say this, that sobriety does not have to mean sobriety from alcohol. Okay, and I'm going to get into that as we discuss today. Obviously, that's the one that jumps out at everybody because, when people say, "Yeah, I've been sober for X number of years," we assume drugs or alcohol, right? So, the main thing about today's topic is the mental clarity that you can achieve through sobriety, and that's sobriety from anything that you um, are always distracted by or addicted to, anything that you use to mask or salve emotions, negative emotions that you don't like. So it could be alcohol, it could be anything else. Um, but just a quick story as to why I wanted to share this today. So 2 years ago, next month, all right, so 2 years ago, August, right before my daughter started school, um, I decided this. I decided to stop drinking beer. Here's why. So, my weight had gone up to about close to 240. I think I weighed 237. 2 years ago, I weighed about 237, which is the highest I've ever weighed. And if you've known me for a while, I mean, I had a hard time breaking 200 for most of my adult life. And then I ballooned up to 237, of course, after children were born. But I was weighing 237, and of course, it's the summertime, and I'm taking the girls to the pool every day, and we're hanging out and swimming in the afternoons, and while I'm out there, I'm cracking a beer or two, and never really thought anything of it for gosh, the 2 years prior that we had lived here in this new home and had the pool and had been doing it, and then in about the first week of August. Um, I started to, well, I didn't start to, I came to the realization, you go out, you spend each afternoon at the pool, you crack a few beers, whatever, you're not paying attention. And by the end of that first week of August, I had drank almost 2 cases of beer in 1 week, which, you know, like 7, 8 beers in the afternoon while you're hanging out at the pool playing with your daughters. Um, do I believe I have a problem with alcohol? No. If I did, I wouldn't have a show called Whiskey Wednesday, and I wouldn't invite you to share a libation with me. What I did start to look at, though, was how has getting to the point where I drink that much beer, how has that affected my personal growth? Okay, so that's really what triggered the decision for me to stop drinking beer, is that I started to think about, like, gosh, how much am I missing out on by, you know, consuming 8 beers a day? Um, and it wasn't like I was physically needing it. It was just, social type thing. You're hanging out at the pool, have a few beers. So as I started to think about that, I made the decision that I was going to do a 90-day sobriety from drinking beer, not abstaining from alcohol, because I would still have a whiskey every now and then, and even to this day, I only drink one whiskey a week, maybe two, um, nothing overboard. But I decided, okay, I'm gonna take 90 days of no drinking beer, and I'm just gonna see what the effect is. I'm gonna see what the difference will be for me in my personal growth, in my mental clarity, in a number of other things. And as I went through that 90 days, I started to experience a lot of different things. So I thought I had some allergy problems because I would get real wheezy at night, wake up in the middle of the night, have a hard time breathing, and go take a few Zyrtec, and it would clear up after about 30 minutes. So I thought, man, just during the certain time of year, I get this flare up in my lungs, allergy related. Well, as I started to have more and more days between not drinking beer, I started to experience less and less of that lung reaction at night. And then I eventually connected the dots that, whether it's the wheat or the barley or something in the beer, it was what was causing the allergic reaction in my lungs. So I was like, wow, look at that. I found a health reason why I should not continue drinking beer. And then I started to begin journaling again. and the fog lifted, and I started to get real clear on my thinking, and I started to really become motivated again, and I started to see and have a vision for something that I wanted to produce. And my creativity, which is one of my core values, flooded back into my life. And at the end of the 90 days, I thought, well, gosh, why stop this train? You know, let's keep chugging along with not consuming beer and see what happens. And since that time, I've written and published a best-selling book. I'm in the process of creating multiple programs for different types of things, and I am just all around better. I now weigh about 210 pounds. Wasn't so much the case a couple months ago with two months into lockdown. I was like, whoa, I haven't been to the gym in a while, and I could feel it. But now I'm back down to 210. I feel great. You know, I'll still have a beer every now and then, right? Just here and there. Nothing like before, but you know, like somebody offers and I'm in a position where I feel like it's an okay thing to do, I will. And it doesn't throw me off track, okay? So my point to this story and why I wanted to talk about this subject was because whatever the thing is, okay, it could be food, it could be Netflix, like spending too much time binging Netflix shows, like an entire weekend, for example. It could be pornography, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be social media, it could be spending so much time on your phone on social media and consuming the negativity that we currently see on there that starts to hurt our ability to grow, hurts our ability to be our best self. So that's my point of this, is that if you can identify the thing that you might be using as a crutch, that you might be consuming too much of, that is almost to the point of being unhealthy, identify that thing, strip it out of your life, do a 90-day sabbatical type thing, cleanse yourself from that go-to distraction or addiction, and see what the benefits are from that. You would be amazed, just like I was. The mental clarity that I gained by eliminating beer from my diet, you know, literally eliminating that, led to so many fruits in my life. The book, becoming a bestseller. I mean, you know, my second daughter being born, which was before this actually, but just a lot of different things that came through that. My intention towards my wife changed, and how I approached the relationship, just so many positive things, right? And my personal growth has been on a trajectory straight up ever since. And I'm not here to say that once you find that thing that you eliminate, you're just going to go like this, because growth is not linear. It's an up and down battle. We struggle and we improve. We struggle and we improve. But the challenge is to continually improve and find the things that are holding you back from being who you desire to be, who you were created to be. And in my particular case, in my story, it was, you know, consuming almost 2 cases of beer in a single week. So when you look at how you can change the outcome of your future, it starts with assessing your past and looking at the things that could be holding you back, being honest with yourself, raising that awareness, and then setting a boundary on that thing, right? I take ownership for it, and now I'm creating this non-negotiable term that says I'm going to abstain from that food, alcohol, social media, Netflix, porn, whatever it might be. I'm going to abstain from it. And then when the 90 days is up and you've fought that battle and you experience the benefits of that sobriety, then all you have to do is say, I'm going to do another 90 days, and then another 90 days, and then another, right? And so that's what I wanted to share with you, is that there's so much power in identifying and owning sobriety, whatever it looks like for you. Now, I want to also address the fact that I don't know where each of you are. I don't know what your struggles are in your life. Some of you I do, because I talk to you on a routine basis. Um, and so I'm not going to sit here and assume, anything. But if you are someone who struggles with alcohol, and, me asking you to join me for a drink and share what you're drinking is detrimental to you, share that. Ask for, an accountability to say, hey guys, I love, being in this group, but I have to share that, this is a struggle for me. Great. Because that's where it all begins, you know? That's what I did. I shared with my men's group. Guys, I realized I was drinking too much beer, and I've cut it out, and I'm going to take the next 90 days and not have beer. And they supported me. And now I'm 2 years later, and a lot of good stuff has come about in the last 2 years. So just something that I wanted to offer the group. If there's questions, drop them below. If you want to share where you're at, what you're struggling with, share it. I believe that this group is a group that will embrace that, accept it, and love on it. And so that's what this group is for too. And if you have a story of your own sobriety and what it's meant for you, share that as well. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to challenge you. I want to challenge each of you, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay. What is the thing that you go to on a routine basis when you aren't feeling good? My counselor, many of you, my coach, many of you in this group know him. He says, and he asks the question, what do you do when you hurt? And that identifying that thing can help you lead to a brighter future, a more, clear and aware future for yourself. So I challenge you to identify what it is you need to put aside and abstain from 90 days. And if you have a sobriety story, share it. If you are struggling with something, share it with us. Let us love on that. Okay? All right, y'all.